Okay, now where were we? Well, I was talking about Hello Kitty here, and then the next one I got after that was when Jeanette and I went to San Francisco. Mona Lisa and Gene Simmons makeup. I'm a huge Kiss fan, and I wanted to have something Kiss related. When I was in high school, I did a painting of Mona Lisa in Gene Simmons makeup with the background of the Destroyer album. I wish I still had that painting. I wish I hadn't destroyed it in a fit of obedience. A lot of times Christians think they have to give up a lot of the things that brought pleasure in their life, things that are supposedly not of God, but I wish I still had that painting, but now I have Mona Lisa. And Jeanette got her first tattoo there too. She got a ladybug about the size of a toonie here, and she and I have had two more since then. Or more than that, she's had two more since then. I've had God knows how many more. The next ones were in June of 2023. Jeanette and I went to the Tattoo Expo. I won a $50 gift card, so I used it towards getting R2-D2. I don't usually get tattoos from artists' flash. Usually they're my own idea, but I loved this R2-D2. I hardly felt a thing. It was like practically painless. And funny story, the artist, she was talking about the machine. She said, "Oh, this bitch is hot." And I said, "Who, me?" Couldn't resist. And she said, "I like you." And later that same day, I finally got my pink elephant. I call her Gracie. She's got a Carmen Miranda headdress, and she's wielding a spatula. Flirty little character, wants to give somebody a love tap with that spatula. This was my most painful tattoo. I even screamed a few times. I guess because the lines are fairly heavy, and they say the calf is the most sensitive part of the body. Because, let's see, neat thing is, when I think this is my spirit animal, my cartoon version of me. I love elephants, and in Africa, to compare a woman to an elephant is a really high compliment, because elephants are highly intelligent and they have a great memory. Mine doesn't always work like it used to, but they're very loving and protective of their families, and very, very intelligent and brave and confident. Nothing stands in their way. And then what tattoo did I have next after that? I think we're getting to the end of these frogs. They were on a card that my husband bought at the hardware store years ago. I've always loved that picture. I've always wanted to get it as a tattoo. And in January of 2024, I did. At Niagara Falls, when we were celebrating Jeanette's 60th birthday. She got another ladybug tattoo. Two ladybugs on a clover with a little purple flower. And last but not least, on my 60th birthday, we got these three ladybugs, and they're blue, green, and red. They are Kidio's colors. They're a rock band that was a big influence on me and Jeanette back in 1993. When her mom passed away and I was doing research to do my own kids show, we became obsessed with them and pursued an ill-fated career in music, which brings us back to the first tattoo, because that's my tribute to both Kiss and Kidio, because Kidio always wore masks. Aces was blue, and Paul Stanley was in Phantom of the Opera. I saw him in it twice. So there's your phantom mask with your long-stemmed rose. And I am hoping that for my next tattoo, right here, I will get a beached rowboat with waves coming down along the horizon and the words, "The tide always comes back." Because I just went through a dry spell where I hadn't sold anything since Christmas, and now I am working on a quilt with lighthouses. So I'd like to get a lighthouse tattoo on this arm. I've had several ideas over the years. I've thought of Daffy Duck as Duck-a-Muck, and Lester from the Columbia Gardens Carousel. Anyway, I have talked long enough. Before I conclude this contest, the grand prize winner gets $25,000 and a session with tattoo artist Bam Bam, not to mention an interview in Inked magazine. And As this situation unfolds, you will receive a link to vote for me, probably on my own Facebook page or the new Margaret Franklin Creations. I know that there are a lot of people who have more and more elaborate tattoos than mine. So far it's a matter of quality versus quantity. And if I had more money than brains, my body would be covered in all kinds of whimsical creatures. Anyway, that's it for now. Bye-bye. Be back soon.